There are a number of reasons why a student might apply for politics, governance and public policy. For some students, of course, they may already be working in government in their own countries if they come from overseas, and even in the UK as well. So they may want to come to give their everyday expertise more of an intellectual grounding. Another reason is that they learn a huge amount about the public policy making process by doing this degree. So they get to understand exactly how political ideas are translated through the policy making process into actual real world policy that affects us all. Our academics also have fantastic links into the real world policy world as well. So they're constantly engaging with policymakers. Those policymakers sometimes come in and participate in teaching activities and other things like that. And a number of our academics are working on an almost daily basis with people in government, in local government, so in councils and so on, and also again in international organisations as well.
As part of the course, students reflect on how we define and interpret political events. And this involves exploring the relationship between governance and government, understanding the drivers behind these processes, and reflecting on the changing nature of socio-political interactions and relationships. Students are given the opportunity to reflect on these changing relationships in the context of real-world policy problems, and to reflect on some key questions such as who's responsible for making key decisions that govern our behaviours individually and collectively as a society, who are the key power players involved, and what do governance processes in contemporary society mean for important concepts such as democracy.
I wanted to sort of expand my horizons and learn more on this side of things. So that's why I chose this particular course, and especially public policy is something that I feel like is a path to drive change basically.
Well, we have an exceptionally diverse cohort of students on our politics, governance and public policy degree. They come from a number of routes. So some students will come through a fairly conventional route where they would have done an undergraduate degree with us or an undergraduate degree in politics somewhere else, and they realise they want to focus and concentrate more on public policy questions. So this degree really is the one for them, where they continue their kind of intellectual development. We have a lot of professional people come into the degree. So some of those people might already be working in government, they might already be involved in the public policy process. We also have people coming the other way. They might not have any experience or background in politics at all. They might have actually quite unusual degree background. They may have a degree in chemistry and they might be working in the petrochemical industry, but they want to move into management, or they want to move into a role that requires them to have a deeper understanding of the policy making process, the lobbying process. We're very, very open to receiving applications from people who have that very diverse background, because it's what enriches the experience in the classroom for everybody.
There's a real emphasis on independent learning throughout the course, so students are very much in the driving seat for their own learning experience. The module is taught through a series of overview videos where we cover some of the key theories and concepts that help us to understand the nature of governance in contemporary society. Students then discuss these resources and have an opportunity to reflect on their real-world implications with each other and their tutors during seminars. The assessments are based around applying these theories to real-world scenarios, and students are expected to explore case studies to really apply their knowledge of policy making and how it works.
So there are two modules in particular that I really enjoy, one being feminist and decolonizing approaches and the other well-being in politics. Particularly these two courses offer a different lens into society and how things work. It's quite intriguing to understand or to even look at the world in such a perspective.
Sheffield is an exceptionally political city. It's a city that's very alive and vibrant in terms of its kind of political debates. It's a sanctuary city. It has a huge amount of activity taking place around kind of refugees and migration. It has a number of really important cultural events. So the Dock Fest that takes place every year. We have the Festival of the Mind, where many of our academics here at the university engage with the public in Sheffield to present their work, and that's just the tip of the iceberg really. There's an enormous amount of real world debate around public policy taking place in Sheffield. A Masters in Politics, Governance and Public Policy can lead to a huge diversity of careers. So we have a number of students who have successfully moved on academically into doctoral programs to do PhDs. We have a number of students who've gone on into really, really successful positions within government, often to the very, very highest levels of government, advising prime ministers and presidents and so on and so forth. We've also had a number of students that have come back the other way. So we have students presently in our PhD program who've done public policy with us, gone into government, got to the very, very highest levels of government, and then come back to do a PhD later on.
I aspire to be a policy analyst, and my areas of interest are welfare, climate change and economics and trade. I look forward to working on these lines.